I have a question for you guys. Now, you always see in news stories and whatever have you of people winning the lottery, people winning giant sums of money, and they always end up going broke because they spend all of it on worthless, vain garbage. They buy themselves a huge house or multiple huge houses. Sorry, I made a little loud. Um, and then they buy themselves like a fleet of cars, 2 garages, and a TV the size of San Francisco, or some bullshit. Like, they just go absolute maniac on. I know maniac's not a verb, but they lose their minds and they buy the most insane shit, and they always end up broke because they don't understand how their taxes work. And I don't understand this shit either. But it always ends the same with them losing all their money and being in a worse position than they were before. And they get clowned on because you made a bunch of dumb financial decisions, as if you were given the one big break in this lifetime and you fucked it up because you were greedy with it. You were crazy. And that begs the question of, like, what would you do if you won a huge sum of money? Me personally, I would, and I think I'm pretty humble with it. I don't like to, nobody likes to call themselves humble, but like, first thing I do, hire somebody to help me manage that money. Okay? Pretty straightforward. Also, I would not publicly claim it. I don't want anyone to know I have this money. I would find a way to help. Obviously, I'd pay my debts, but I wouldn't tell anybody that I paid them. I would find a way to pay some people who I care about, family and friends who deserve the money, who deserve a break. Not a huge amount of money, but like, if I won $2 million, I could throw a cool 10, 20 grand on people who I care about, and let them know, and maybe have like a contractual agreement to have them keep their fucking mouths shut or something, so it doesn't become a whole thing. So there's not a lot of stuff that I would just dump a huge amount of money on besides paying off my debts and paying a couple of friends and family who I think deserve the money, or who I don't owe, but I feel like in a way I owe. But as far as selfish things go, one, I wouldn't buy a brand new car. I would just fix the car I have. I drive a 2011 Dodge Durango. That was the floor, not my asshole. I drive a 2011 Dodge Durango, and it's fine. It just has an oil leak, and it has, check engine light, whatever, and I would just get that fixed. I don't need a nice car. I don't give a fuck about cars. Maybe I would have another car, like a little Elantra or something, for driving in the summer, so I don't waste so much money on gas, reduce carbon footprint and yada yada yada. But I wouldn't buy myself a bunch of cars or extravagant cars or anything. The most extravagant thing I would do for myself, outside of promoting my books and getting those actually out into the world through advertising, and maybe even get into a manga or an anime or something like that, the biggest thing I would do for myself is I would probably purchase a small piece of land, and I would build an airsoft course on it. I want to have a place that I can play airsoft, and where I can have friends play airsoft, and I would manage that. And I don't think ultimately it would be that expensive to do. It wouldn't be that expensive to go and buy a small piece of land and put up a pretty casual airsoft gameplay field. And that would be like one of the biggest things that I do for myself. I'm pretty content with things that I have. I would mostly just like clean up shit I have. The house that I live in, I rent through my parents, and I would just like clean up the property and make it a little bit nicer, and like fix the heating system. I'd get rid of like our oil. We have oil heat. I'd replace that with electrical heat, so it's more efficient and whatever have you. So it's like stuff like that. But I don't need to go and build myself a giant gated mansion with a 12-car garage or anything. I just pretty much continue. I wouldn't be going to work. I wouldn't have my day job. I mean, maybe I'd go and have my day job just to break up the monotony of being home. I'd go back and work at the restaurant and just work there a couple days a week. And I don't know. But yeah, I wouldn't go crazy. I know people say that, but I genuinely 100%, maybe I guess I can't say 100. I 89% believe that I wouldn't go and blow all my money on a bunch of worthless shit. I just want to make myself happy, and I don't need a lot to be happy. And I definitely wouldn't tell people that I have a lot of money, because then they're not gonna like me for me. They're gonna. It just wouldn't be a factor. I would never unveil that aspect of my life to a significant other until we were already, like, let's say, getting married. Then I'd be like, hey, by the way, I'm fucking loaded. I won the lottery, you know? Whatever. But just like, yeah. Anyway, really long explanation about what I would do off the top of my head. I'm sure I can make a list of what I would do. But let me know what you would do if you won, like, let's say $2 million or whatever big jackpot amount that you took home. If like the guy who won $2 billion and took home like $700 million or whatever, like if you won that kind of money, what would you do? Be honest. Also, at the end of this video, check out vengeancebooks.com to support my book series. I would appreciate that. vengeancebooks.com.